Karcheng, greetings, history enthusiasts. Welcome to the first installment of our series, Unyielding Spirits, the French Resistance. During World War II, here on the HIST-A.I RY channel. In this video, we embark on a profound exploration, unraveling the intricate narrative that begins with the somber echoes of France's surrender and the forging of a courageous force that would defy tyranny and alter the course of history. In the tumultuous year of 1940, the world watched with bated breath as France, a stalwart beacon of democracy, crumbled under the relentless power of the Nazi war machine. The German Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, was a novel and devastating strategy of warfare, emphasizing speed, surprise, and overwhelming force to disorient and crush the enemy. It was a stratagem that proved to be brutally effective in the Battle of France. In just 6 weeks, the German forces swept through the Low Countries and France, bypassing the supposedly impenetrable Maginot Line with alarming ease. The French and British forces were outmaneuvered and outgunned, unable to stem the tide of the German onslaught. The speed and ferocity of the Blitzkrieg left France on its knees, its military infrastructure shattered, and its morale decimated. This rapid and crushing defeat was not just a military disaster. It sent shockwaves through every facet of French society. The French government, led by Prime Minister Paul Reynaud, found itself in a precarious position. Faced with the stark reality of German occupation and the threat of total annihilation, they were compelled to make the painful decision to capitulate. On June 22, 1940, in the same railway carriage where the Germans had surrendered in World War I, the French signed the armistice at Compiègne. It was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark symbol of defeat and a painful echo of past glory. The impacts were immediate and far-reaching. The German occupiers imposed stringent controls and restrictions on the French populace. The country was divided, with the north under direct German occupation and the south under the puppet Vichy regime, led by Marshal Pétain. The French economy was subjugated to serve the German war efforts, leading to widespread shortages, inflation, and economic hardship for the French people. Socially, the French populace was divided. Feelings of shame, anger, and disbelief mingled with fear and resignation. Some collaborated, either out of fear, opportunism, or ideological alignment with the Nazis. Others, however, were not so ready to accept the new status quo. With the fall of France, a dark cloud of despair hung over the country. But in the shadows, the spirit of resistance was beginning to stir. In the face of occupation and oppression, the human spirit often finds a way to resist. In France, this resistance began as individual acts of defiance and small, concealed movements. As the oppressive weight of the German occupation bore down on the French populace, the first stirrings of resistance began to emerge. These were not yet the organized networks that we would later come to know as the French Resistance. Instead, they were isolated acts of defiance, the expression of an indomitable spirit, refusing to be crushed. One of the earliest forms of resistance came in the guise of strikes and demonstrations. Workers, refusing to be cogs in the German war machine, downed tools and took to the streets. They protested against the oppressive conditions, the forced labor, and the infringement of their fundamental rights. These strikes were not just a refusal to work, but an assertion of their humanity in the face of an inhuman regime. In parallel, the seeds of intellectual resistance were also being sown. The written word became a powerful weapon against the occupiers. Forbidden from publishing anything that criticized the German regime, some brave French citizens took matters into their own hands. They began to produce underground newspapers, disseminating information and ideas that the occupation sought to suppress. These newspapers, with names like Combat and Libération, were more than just sources of news. They were a beacon of hope, a symbol of defiance, and a rallying call for those who yearned for freedom. They reminded the French people of their proud history, their shared values, and their collective strength. The risks involved were immense, with the penalty for being caught often being deportation or even execution. Yet these individuals, fueled by a desire for freedom and justice, pressed on. The motivations of these early resistors were as diverse as the individuals themselves. Some were driven by political ideologies, others by a deep sense of patriotism. Some were spurred on by personal loss, others by the simple conviction that what was happening was wrong. But all of them shared a common belief that they had a duty to resist, to stand up against the forces that sought to subjugate them. The challenges they faced were monumental. The ever-present danger of being discovered, the scarcity of resources, the constant threat of betrayal, and the sheer might of the German war machine. Yet, they held firm, their convictions unwavering, their courage undiminished. These brave individuals and groups, fueled by a desire for freedom and justice, were the seeds that would grow into the French resistance. Their actions, though often small and seemingly inconsequential, were the first steps towards the liberation of France. They were a testament to the power of the human spirit, a demonstration of what can be achieved when individuals refuse to be silenced, refuse to be dominated, and choose instead to stand tall and resist. From the scattered sparks of rebellion, the French resistance was born, a testament to the indomitable will of the French people. The formation of this force wasn't a singular event, but rather a confluence of diverse groups and individuals, each with their own motivations, but all united by a common goal: to resist the oppressive German occupation. Political factions, intellectuals, ordinary citizens, and even some elements within the French government and military began to coalesce into the entity we now know as the French Resistance. It was a motley crew, a tapestry of French society, bound together by the shared conviction that they could not, would not, accept the status quo. The formation of the French Resistance was no easy task. It required not only courage and determination, but also a high degree of organizational skill. The new resistance had to operate in utmost secrecy, under the constant threat of detection and reprisal from the German authorities and their French collaborators. Key to the resistance's operation were the intricate networks they created. These networks, often organized along regional or ideological lines, served as the backbone of the resistance. They facilitated the flow of information, the planning of sabotage operations, and the provision of safe havens for those on the run from the German authorities. Communication was a crucial aspect of these networks. The resistance had to develop clandestine channels for passing information, both within France and to their allies abroad. This was achieved through a variety of means, from coded messages hidden within seemingly innocuous letters, to secret radio broadcasts, to the smuggling of physical documents. Strategic initiatives were another key component of the resistance's work. The resistance was not simply about defiance for defiance's sake. It was a strategic force, aimed at undermining the German occupation and aiding the Allied war effort. To this end, the resistance carried out a wide range of activities, from gathering intelligence, to sabotaging German infrastructure, to aiding the escape of Allied airmen shot down over France. All of these efforts were underpinned by a commitment to unity. Despite their diverse backgrounds and motivations, the members of the French resistance recognized that their strength lay in their unity. They understood that only by working together, by pooling their resources and coordinating their efforts, could they hope to stand against the might of the German occupation. And so, the French resistance was born. From the ashes of defeat and occupation, the French people forged a force that would play a crucial role in the liberation of their country. It was a force defined not by its military might, but by its spirit, its courage, and its unyielding commitment to freedom. In the face of tyranny, the French resistance stood as a beacon of hope, a testament to the unyielding spirit of humanity. Join us next time on the HIST-A.I RY channel as we delve deeper into the heart of the French resistance in Part 2 of our series, Unyielding Spirits, the French Resistance during WWII, World War II.